Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Chike, you're holding down
But
movie. Adam's out traveling, so what you got for us?
I mean, of course, I've seen a lot more than what I'm going to talk about today. I can't go into everything that I saw, but these are
Right.
some of the highlights. Um, of course, let's talk about what's been in the press. I don't know if you watched The Deliverance.
I did.
Oh, wow. So, The Deliverance stars Glenn Close, Monique, Audra Day, and Ingenue Ellis. And she has another last name because she got married, but I can't remember what it is. My apologies. Um, I found it to be very, very, very interesting. And it's based off of a true story.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there were certain parts of the film that I was taken aback. Like it kind of jarred me a little bit. But it's listed as a horror film. But there were comedic moments in it, and there were also dramatic moments, and it had a little bit of everything in it. It was like a gumbo.
Yeah.
Lee Daniels never disappoints. You know, he brought it again. But I'm really most amazed by Miss Glenn Close.
Yes.
She turned that Alberta role out. And I heard her in her interview, and she was talking about she had no idea how to play this character. But when they started doing costume fittings and she was putting on her clothes, she said she was trying to figure out what kind of woman would wear these kind of clothes outside and
Right.
be confident in it. And she said that's when she started to get the attitude and she started hearing how all the other actors around her were interacting with one another in scene, and then that gave her like the cadence and the temperature of how to play Alberta. She said, "Oh, I'm pretty much a part of this family, so let me like insert myself in that demeanor." And she killed it. She killed it.
Also heard they used Kiki Wyatt's mom as an example of that.
Yes, because she's very like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Very like that.
Um yeah, but she stole the show. But there was some backlash because it is based on a true story, and her character was really black in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lee Danielson had released a statement saying that everyone knows Alberta, or that type of person, and that she is part of the fiber of the black community.
Yes,
Of course, he got backlash for that,
but
but
it's the truth.
they're part of, not the fabric of the black community. But yeah, everyone's talking. I mean, she killed that role. She killed that role.
Yeah, that's why she's one of the greats.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend it. You know, some people aren't into horror. There are points where it does get a little dark, and, you know I heard them even say that they had a priest on set to
Yeah.
keep things cool, which I thought was awesome. But Audra Day is turning out to be a great actress,
Yeah. It was
and
also great to see Monique. Monique is hilarious.
yes,
Without
she is. Yes, she is. Yeah. Um, it was something else that I wanted to say. Oh, so I don't know if anybody else ever got this. Did you ever catch the resemblance of how much Audrey Day looks like Rihanna? Like how much they
Yeah.
resemble each other?
A lot of people thought that was like when they would see a clip, oh, I thought that was Rihanna. Yeah. I
Yeah,
always thought that.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
But I highly recommend check it out. Um, Again, I hope Lee Daniels continues to grow as a filmmaker and give us more of this, and then get us looking at something new.
yeah.
Surviving Lake Lanier. It's a documentary
I want to
on
see this on my
Amazon.
list. It's on my list. Okay.
If anyone knows the story of Lake Lanier, I think every summer there's like a death or two or major injuries or something always happening in Lake Lanier. And so the legend is that it's haunted. It is haunted because there was a town in the space of Lake Lanier called Otisville.
Mhm.
And Otisville was pretty much, if you ever seen the movie Rosewood, that would be Otisville. And like what happened in the massacre in
Tulsa.
yes, Tulsa, Oklahoma. So it was a town, prosperous, destroyed, and in order to keep the town and the crimes buried, they covered it all up with water. So allegedly, the town is still in Lake Lanier, but underneath the lake. And the rumor and the legend has it that the ancestors are haunting the space. The message of the documentary is so much, don't focus so much on the legend, but focus on what really happened to the town, because that is the story. And people want to cover up, not necessarily cover up, but it's like a side story to what actually happened. You don't talk about what really happened, but you talk about the haunting. I thought it was an awesome documentary. There were some things that I learned that I didn't know. Uh, I definitely think that people should check it out because it is a part of American history, and it shows how far certain individuals will go for power and prejudice.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that. I saw ad for it on the Shade Room, and I took a
Mm-hmm.
screenshot so I could watch that. Yeah,
And they're trying to encourage people to see it because some powers that be are trying to get it removed from Amazon. So if you can support it, please support it.
absolutely.
And remember, people, when you're liking these movies on these streaming apps, and I was guilty of it too, being a movie reviewer, I was guilty of it in the beginning. But start liking what you watch because they make a record of that.
Mm,
And they're already cultivating films for you through these systems. They'll pick what else you may like based off of what you already watched. So they're keeping a track of what you're watching, but play homage to the things that you like to watch because you'll get more of them. And it's also a boost for the film creators because it lets them know that they're viable.
yeah, definitely. Good point.
So the next thing was A Quiet Place Day One. So I will say this. I went back and watched all of them. And then I watched the day one, which is technically a prequel, but it's a sequel.
Mm,
It's they're all streaming on Paramount Plus, so you can watch all the films in succession, which I did. And I couldn't figure out for the life of me this film having the caliber of actors that it had in it to be a horror film. Because normally, you don't find that. You normally find, especially like going all the way back to, let's go back to Halloween. Halloween made Jamie Lee Curtis a star.
right. Yeah, yeah.
They normally have like, I don't want to say nobodies, but lesser known people in horror movies because they're horror movies.
Yeah.
But you have to think about the temperature of the film and what they're trying to convey. And the weight of what they're trying of the message that they're trying to send you. And this movie is about an extinction level event. And why wouldn't you hire the best actors to convey that heavy message about the annihilation of the earth?
Mm,
And I didn't understand that at first, but now I get it after watching this one because I was like, Lupita has been in all these movies. She's won an Oscar. Like, she's like the bomb. Why would
yeah.
she choose to do this movie? When you watch it and her performance and her storyline of her character, only she could do that.
Mm,
And I was like, wow, it puts it in a different place. And it actually almost like even with Lee Daniels and Deliverance, it there are points in there where it actually pulls at your heartstrings and pulls, emotion out of you, even though it's a horror film.
yeah.
These actors are doing the work. So it's not just a horror film. It's
Yeah.
it's a drama and it can get a little emotional. Definitely check it out. And the last thing that I'll talk about is Fight Night. Are you watching Fight Night on Peacock?
Mm-mm.
Definitely check that out. It's the Kevin Hart production, Kevin Hart and Will Packer. And
Okay.
it's Kevin Hart, Taraji P. Henson, Samuel L. Jackson, and
Oh
Terrence
yeah.
Howard.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
spring recently. Yeah.
yeah. I love any film that goes back to like the 60s and the 70s, that time frame. I just love it. And you can always tell when they spend a lot of money on the production because to tell a period piece, you have to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
So the background, the cars, the clothes, like that costs major money. And so
Mhm.
they spend a piece of change to make this. And it's quality. It's funny, it's dramatic, it's a little gory because it's a little violent in there. It's like a
Mm.
crime, drama, comedy. It reminds me a little bit of Let's Do It Again. A little bit. has that feel to it.
Yeah.
So definitely check it out. Taraji and Kevin are doing really well. They do
Really?
really well.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. That's what Terrence Howard has that wig.
Yes.
Okay. Anything coming out of the pipeline you excited about?
I didn't get an opportunity to see the new Alien movie that came out, and I want to see that because I like, that story. Um, as far as something in the future, I don't know yet.
Mhm.
To be honest, I haven't looked.
Yeah, right. Well, listen, thank you as always for letting us know what to spend our time and money on and what not to. And we'll be right back after this.
Yes.